Denzel, as an actor, brings such size and a sort of broken dignity to this role. I think a lot of the work, you know, that other actors huff and puff to do, he just sort of walks in with it. And it's a great quality. It's star quality.
Oh, okay, so before we get started, I'm just dying to know.
Another scene in this movie in that same regard, and this was like a scary one because it was a much more challenging sequence in the sense that it involved about 4 pages of monologue that Meryl Streep was going to deliver in the character of Senator Eleanor Prentice Shaw. Watching Meryl design the way she wanted to play that scene, watching her just explore in terms of the literal ground that she was covering, just the way she chose to circle the room, where she chose to pause, where she wanted to sit down for a minute, where she wanted to leap up again. It was just one of the most joyful experiences I've ever had making a movie, watching her do that.
Make no mistake, the American people are terrified. They know something's coming. They can feel it.
And again, as I watch the picture now, as she slams home her point at the end of her 4-page monologue, guaranteed goosebumps and a desire inside me to run out and vote for this guy that she's been talking about, even though I'm watching some movie and the guy doesn't exist. Okay, cut! Print! Very good! Very, very good.
Jonathan, did you say smile?
I think a certain kind of smile would be...
A smirk.
I'm a great admirer of hers, and what is really interesting is how she changes subtly on each take, so that Jonathan has a lot to work with in the editing room. She'll be a little more subtle in one take, she'll be stronger in the other.
Jeremy.
She brings just a little touch of humor without losing the strength in another take. She's brilliant.
I couldn't think of anyone else who could play the role, really. She seemed perfect. She seemed exactly right because she was able to find the right amount of outrageousness and restraint. Just when you think she's going to go over the top, she pulls back. Just when you think that she's too zealous, she cracks a joke. She chews on her ice. She basically became the character, and pretty soon she was telling me what the character would do.
Sergeant Raymond Shaw.
I don't really see her as a villain. I don't see it that way. People are driven by what they feel is right. Sometimes you got to bend the rules to get to that place where the better world is.
Yes, I made a decision.
There are things that happen on the way. There are, as Donald Rumsfeld says, there's mess. There's mess.
Oh, God, where are all the men anymore? My father, Tyler Prentice, never asked, is this okay? Is this okay?
There were very specific public personalities that I was inspired by in creating this character, most definitely. I loved being someone so certain, because certainty is just so attractive in people. To me, it's a completely bogus position for me, because, I'm listening to every side, but it's so nice not to have to listen to all the different sides, to be so clear and on your track and sure. It's a fabulous thing. Unfortunately, it leads to fanaticism.
But I want you to know, Raymond, I did this for you.
Eleanor Prentice Shaw is the most brilliant person in any room she enters. She's the most charismatic, and she is a passionate patriot. She's also an adoring mother. She loves her son Raymond, and she believes in her son Raymond.
What Meryl brings to it is this cloaked tenderness that you're surprised by the depth of her character's ability to love.
Oh, and look at you.
I play a loving mother.
Look at you. Look what you've achieved. Look how
Things go wrong, horribly wrong, but it's not for lack of best intentions.
Rolling in 2 minutes.
He's a very accomplished actor. He's extremely bright. And this was a really hard role. I mean, so was mine. But his was really hard because he never knew when he was being controlled by forces other than his own self-generated will. And it was a really interesting thing to see sort of the self kind of wrestle down this other influence that came from an artificial source. I think he does an amazing job. You can really literally see the two forces at war behind his eyes.